So let's talk more shows a little bit, more lineups or some artists that we're excited to see. Obviously, we just talked a little bit about them. We're excited to see Marcus King for sure. And then how could we forget? But Sunday, I'm glad to be there to see Leon Bridges again. It's been a while since I've seen Sir Leon, so it'd be great to see Leon Bridges. But one thing that I am excited for is that Thursday show to see Larkin Poe. I want to see these girls rock it out. I want to see that band just kick some ass. They're fantastic, just on their record, just in general. So their musicianship should show up pretty fucking well at Bonnaroo in a live situation. It's going to be fantastic to see them. But who are some unfamiliar artists that you're excited to see? I got three artists that I'm kind of excited. I've never heard of before. Pretty excited to see if we can pop in to see them. Do you got a list going with that?
I'm starting to get there. Part of the problem is with unknown artists is I don't know who I don't know yet. So what I did for myself is on Tidal, I created a Bonnaroo playlist with 2 songs from every single artist on this lineup card. Now, if you listen on Spotify, they usually have a Bonnaroo generated playlist. I couldn't find one on Tidal, so I had to create one for myself. And so I've got 2 of every artist on here, and I started listening. So we haven't fully dived into Thursday, it's Sunday yet. So let's circle back to Thursday, and I'll kind of talk about some artists that I've heard so far that I'm curious to maybe check out if we can. And of course, Larkin Poe, we'll see them. We'll see those girls rock out and do their thing. They do that blues rock music. I discovered Larkin Poe this same way that I talked about. I think I listened to that Bonnaroo playlist last year when we were originally going to go, and they stood out to me, and it was like, all right, I'm going to star that band to check them out. And now we get to see them this year. And so far, I've just listened through this playlist. I was kind of curious about 99 Neighbors. That one, they were kind of fun. That could be a good one. Listen to some Andy Frasco in the or UN. I don't know what the pronunciation is there. He's kind of got this gospel-y sound, kind of bluesy sound, which is kind of cool. Big Something. Also, I'm kind of interested in maybe seeing. That's kind of, they to me sound like sort of like an electronic jam band. Like there's instruments there, but it's a little electronic focused. So that could be a lot of fun too. Big Something as well. So just on that Thursday lineup, those are some names, like those top 3 I'm already kind of interested in checking out. And one thing that I always find helpful too, that I really like to do, is when you get there and you just start meeting people, you meet your neighbors, everyone's very open and friendly, which is really cool. Like you build a community with the people around you, and you just talk to everyone everywhere. It's not weird. There's no hey, this is kind of awkward. Everyone's just so open and willing to talk to everyone, which is really cool. And one of the things that I like to ask people is, who are you excited to see? And a lot of times they're going to name people that you have no idea who the fuck they are. They're going to be like, oh, I'm excited to see Liz Cooper in the Stampede. And you're going to be like, I don't know who the fuck that is. And then they're going to be like, oh, she's awesome, blah, blah, blah. They're going to be like, you should totally check them out, and be like, hey, if I got time or the scheduling works out, sure. And sometimes, and I've done that, where you just end up going to a show that you weren't planning on going to. And maybe you go with that person. Maybe they're like, yeah, come on, we can go together if there's someone in your campsite. And you end up going and you're like, dude, that was fucking great. I'm so glad I went to that. That's a really fun thing to do just in general. So that's some of the new people I'm excited about. But part of it is I'm going to wait and see who's a new person I should check out once I get there.
Yeah, basically I went through the list. I picked one from each day, and I was just kind of listening to them throughout. And I've gotten through 8 of them. And I think the 3 that I chose that really stood out to me, that was this is kind of like Jesse Geekdom kind of land. These are artists I've never heard of before, actually. The first one I picked up was on Friday's show lineup. Is kind of like you were saying, kind of this electric jam band kind of thing. But this was the Disco Biscuits. Yeah, I've not heard of them before, but they've been around since 1995. Okay. They've released about 12 albums and 2 EPs since that time. Definitely digging the new age jam style that they were really bringing in with a couple of their songs. Really, one of the best jams I heard was On Time, which featured an artist called Two-Face. It's really a good little tune there. It just really kind of had this really good bass drive and everything. Kind of has that electric jam band feel to it. So very much what you were talking about with the other band. This Disco Biscuits sounds fucking awesome. I can't wait to see kind of like what they have. They got a good mix of like Tame Impala with like 90s music kind of style. So very cool shit. Hero the band. I have heard one of their songs just basically in the background off of like the current, but I've never heard of the band themselves. Hero the band. They play on Saturday. Really loved how Spotify did their bio. I wonder if it was written by a white person, because if you don't know who Hero the band is, they're four brothers from Georgia, and
It's four brothers. It's a Rick and Morty reference.
Oh, I fucking love that show. I love that show.
It's two brothers. It's called Two Brothers.
But speaking of brothers, it's funny that when I read their bio, Hero the band, they're black. They're from Georgia. They're fucking awesome. They're playing really good music and shit. But the way that Spotify wrote it is that I wrote it down here: a multifaceted band from Decorah, Georgia, comprised of four biological brothers with a unique musical vision. And so I'm thinking to myself, that's fucking racist, actually. So
yeah,
I
brothers, not brothers.
Yes. And so I looked up Hanson. Remember Mbop?
Yeah,
and right, they say just brothers on there. So it's like, come on, man. It's like, that was just really great. So I love that. But outside of that,
specifying.
Oh, it's fantastic. It's like, come on, like really, I'm not like expecting them to say, hey, these are my brothers, like they're friends.
Right.
Jesus Christ. It was just great. I thought it was hilarious. But Hero the band, kind of newer band from 2016 and stuff like that. Got a couple albums, released a new EP in 2019, excuse me. Trouble in My Mind is kind of what probably their most popular tune. I think that's the one that I listened to out on the current. But man, they are a really great band. Crunchy beats, really good pop rock sound, just a phenomenal all-around production. They kind of got these power vocals, driving beat, a great melody, kind of kaleidoscope of sounds coming at there. It's a kind of a mix of Outkast's blending of genres, along with like Imagine Dragons' power pop energy. I really love them. I really want to see these guys live. So if there's an opportunity on Saturday and we can see these guys, I'm so down for that one. And then you kind of said the weird things happen on Sunday, right?
Sunday night, late Sunday night.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's a guy named Oliver Tree that's playing on Sunday. Just randomly pulled this guy. This was the first one I pulled out on Sunday. I have like 2 or 3 different artists. And he's Oliver Tree is like an LA-based musician. He has like some hip-hop and pop kind of blend to his music and stuff. Mm-hmm. It's kind of very refreshing because it's also very light production, but it's really good. Really well done. What really amazed me when I saw this guy on YouTube, it was like, wow, he has like 1.2 million views or whatever. I'm like, I'll see what else he has on Spotify. So I looked at his Spotify top 5, and it's crazy. He gets 4.2 million listeners per month. This guy, wow. His top 5 songs all have millions of listens. Alien Boy, which was absolutely fantastic tune, 182 million plus. His song Hurt, 112 million plus listeners. Miracle Man, 65 million. And his most famous song is called When I'm Down, had 85 million. So I just was very intrigued that he's this low, like kind of in the listing with this type of big popularity. And if you look at most of his songs, I think what the great appeal to this, to Oliver Tree, is that most of his songs are under 3 minutes. So it's kind of got this very punk attitude with a very pop overture. And it's just kind of like weird lyrical stuff that I've heard from him from like about the 7 songs I've listened to. But this guy is really cool. He sounds kind of like the lead singer, Matt Schultz from Cage the Elephant, actually.
Sure.
Very similar vocal timbre and stuff like that. So this guy looks like it'll be a fun one to check out on Sunday for sure.
Sweet. That sounds great. I'm glad you're already getting into these guys, because that's the beauty of it, is just finding these random people and going there and being blown away.